Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Timmy. Now, Timmy, being a smart lad, one day decided to leave his home and have an adventure in the world. I don't know actually why this makes him a smart lad. In fact, some of the things he did were quite dumb, and the only person who called him a smart lad was his mother, who was really just being kind. But I digress. Anyways, as I was saying, once upon a time, there was a young boy, Timmy, who went for a journey. On his journey, he encountered some things. Not a lot of things, mind you, but some. One of which was, interestingly enough, a sheep. Now, he'd never encountered a sheep before, so he thought there was something special about it. Little did he know, well, little did anyone else know, because we all know there's nothing special about sheep normally. But he didn't know this. Anyways, Timmy goes to the sheep and says, "How do you do?" Now, as we all know, sheep can't talk. It's ridiculous. But do you know what the sheep did? It said, "I do well. Thank you for asking. How are you?" To which Timmy, actually, he wasn't very bright. Come to think of it, after all, he was actually pretty dull. Do not realize that animals can't talk, at least not normal ones. For you see, this was a magic sheep. A very special magic sheep of magicalness. But he didn't know this. Well, obviously he didn't know this. He didn't know what a sheep was. Who doesn't know what a sheep was? I don't know. Just Timmy. Regardless, Timmy, talking to the sheep, said, "What can I do for you, my fine sir?" The sheep thought for a bit and said, "If you do me a task, I will grant you 3 wishes." Now, Johnny at this point realized, wait a minute. Wishes? People don't just grant wishes willy-nilly. I can't grant wishes. Why can they grant wishes? So he asked this to the sheep, to which the sheep replied, "Well, in case you obviously haven't noticed, I am in fact a magical sheep." A magical sheep? What does that mean? It means that if you don't do what I say, I can turn you into a frog. For indeed, that is what happened to the previous person. When Timmy looked to his right, he saw there was in fact a frog sitting there that he hadn't noticed before. It must have been the previous person. It looked at him with sad, sad eyes. Poor frog. Poor diluted frog. But anyways, he said, "All right, so you said something about wishes?" To which the sheep replied, "Yes, if you bring me a shrub, not a shrubbery, not a bush, but a individual shrub, I shall grant you 3 wishes." Timmy, being curious, asked, "What do you need with a shrub? What use is a shrub to you?" The sheep did not answer. Instead, it bawed at him, and then looked blankly away. Puzzled by this, Johnny decided, all right, I may as well try and find a shrub for the sheep, because, after all, it will grant me 3 wishes if I get it a shrub. So, he began to look around, and sure enough, not very far away, there was some plant life. He goes over, he examines it, and he picks a few different items, not being quite sure what the sheep meant by a shrub and not a shrubbery and not a bush. He brought them over to the sheep for examination. "Hello, Sir Sheep," he said. "Are any of these the shrubs of which you seek?" The sheep looked over his items and then frowned in a way only sheep can. "No," he said, "none of these are the items I was looking for. You see here, this This here is actually a dandelion. This item," he pointed to another, "is a shrubbery. I told you I don't want any shrubberies, and this, I don't even know what this is," as he pointed to the third item. It was very shiny and pointy, and yes, it looked quite dangerous as an item. Johnny decided to wield it. Little did he know it was a sword, which is the point that you know that it's a sword, because Johnny's never going to figure it out. His name isn't even Johnny, it's Timmy. I think I may have mixed some things up. Regardless, Timmy Johnny, and the magic sheep. Yes. Where were we? Oh, the sheep. Quite. So, this sheep sends him away again, saying, "No, don't come back until you have a shrubbery." Not a shrubbery, I mean a shrub. You see, you're getting me all confused. Oh well. So he looked high and low, found more shrubs, found more dandelions and rose bushes and all sorts of amazing and wonderful things in the world. One of which, one day when he was journeying along, because this was quite a long adventure that he was having, he encountered a witch. Now, he didn't know this was a witch, of course. Why would he know it's a witch? Because he doesn't know that a talking sheep isn't normal. He's not going to know what a witch is. Anyways, he encountered what we would call a witch. He just thought of her as some weird old lady. At least at the time. And he said, "Hello, madam. Would you happen to have a shrub?" Now, this witch, she knew the true power of shrubs. She said, Why are you seeking a shrub?" Now Johnny again, not really realizing what a witch is or that magic sheep are out of the ordinary, said, "Well, I am looking for a shrub for my friend the sheep." He knew what to call them. He knew what sheep were called. He just didn't know what they were. A little bit odd, I think, but to each their own. Whatever. Now the witch, of course, the witch knew. The witch knew of sheep and magic sheep, and that a sheep talking? That's not normal. So the witch thought to herself, if I can find out where this sheep is, I may be able to cast some epic spells of epic level. Because the witch did things like that. Epic spell casting, I mean. Well, he journeyed into the shrubber shop and saw a shrub, and a shrubbery, and a shrubbush, and a bush, and dandelions, and roses.